Hey, in this video, I'm going to be showing what I call a recovery position, where I'm going to be laying down in a position of comfort, unloading the hips, the knees, the lower back, and doing a specific breathing technique that I call parasympathetic breathing. We want to lay down, and I want you to just find a position that's comfortable. Often, if we're dealing with pain in the low back or the hips or the knees, having some pillow support here can feel really nice. So I have some chairs in my office and I just took some of the cushions and I'm supporting my knees and my hips. And I'm just gonna kind of maybe settle in here. And before I do anything else, I just want to feel like I'm kind of melting into the table. If this is not a position of comfort for you, I want you to find something that is. If you're in a discomfort, just find whatever is going to be best right now, even if it isn't pain-free. But I want something where you feel supported, you feel relaxed, and you're in an environment where you feel comfortable, potentially closing your eyes and hanging out here for a few minutes to down-regulate. Then we're going to do a specific breathing technique that has been shown in several studies to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's a part of the nervous system that helps us to de-stress, hopefully, get out of what's called fight or flight. It can down-regulate some of our pain responses, help sometimes even with digestion. And so it can be really helpful if you're in discomfort or just a reset from being alive in 2025, which can be a stressful time. So I'm gonna hang out here and just kind of settle in, melt into the table. If you feel comfortable, just kind of having hands on the bottom of the rib cage. If that's not comfortable, arms wherever feels nice to you. And then the breathing pattern is I'm going to breathe in through the nose, and one more small little inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth, nice and slow and full. Brief pause, and then inhale again. So that's the general pattern, this kind of double inhale. So an inhale through the nose, and then a small little kind of sip of air at the top, and then a full, complete, slow exhale, brief pause at the bottom. What I want you to maybe feel with your hands is that as you exhale, your rib cage, these bones here, they sink downwards. We're not adding any additional core tension or anything here. We're trying to just settle in and let the rib cage relax and come down. As you do a couple breaths, if you can do maybe a little body scan, and you're searching for areas where maybe you're holding tension and you didn't realize at first, and seeing if as you exhale, you can let some of that tension go. So for me, after about the third breath, I realized that my shoulders were just maybe a little higher up towards my ears than they needed to be. And I just kind of exhale and let those sink down along with my rib cage. Don't want you to overthink this. So it's hard to do this wrong. Actually, overthinking it is maybe one of the few ways to do it wrong. And if you need to kind of shift around as you go, that's totally fine. We're just going to try to have a sense of melting into the table, letting some of the tension relax. And why I mentioned that rib cage coming down is that when we're in a position of stress, a position of pain, or if we're not taking full deep breaths, we often get kind of stuck in what's called an inhaled position or kind of a rib flare. And so if you imagine you're walking on a surface that's really slippery, or you don't feel quite comfortable in an environment, often people take shallower breaths, higher breaths, and they don't always exhale all the way. So almost everybody I talk to says they in some way, shape, or form hold stress in their shoulders. One of the potential reasons is that the muscles around our shoulders and neck, they can become overactive in this high breathing pattern, and they tip our rib cage up a bit so the bones of the rib cage stick forward. And so here we're just trying to let the surface you're on support you. It can be on your bed, a couch, the floor, whatever it is. And then with the exhale, we're trying to let that come down a little bit. If it's more comfortable for you to inhale and exhale only through your mouth or only through your nose, I'm totally fine with that for now. But sometimes getting in through the nose helps to also stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, which brings us down a couple notches. The slower exhale does that as well, and a brief pause at the bottom does it too. But I don't want you to feel like you're hungry for more air. So if you're starting to feel like you're out of breath, go at a cadence that feels, again, relaxed and comfortable. I typically want you to do this for 5 to 10 minutes. If we're doing this to try to wind ourselves out of pain, sometimes we'll do it 2, 3, even 4 times a day. If you just get one in, that's okay too. But often we're looking for a position of recovery. Unless it's something at the knee or the ankle, we can't really elevate the rest of the body, the neck, the spine, the shoulders. It's hard to elevate that too much. And so getting out of gravity helps those areas to just totally relax. We don't need muscle tension here. We're just trying to find a little recovery and tune in to what is happening in the body. We don't need to do any formal meditation techniques or even any formal body scans, although I do have some videos on those that can be helpful. But really, we're just using this intentional breathing pattern to maybe reset our nervous system and reset how we're holding tension throughout the body. Find a position of comfort and go through some of this breathing for 5, maybe 10 minutes once a day. But if you can get more in, that can be great as well. And again, how you lay doesn't have to look exactly like this, but this can be a good place to start. So give it a shot. Often we don't look for miracles after the first time, although you might feel a little better coming up. But I find that the benefits of this compound. So the first time might be like, hey, that's all right. But if we can get this in a couple times a day, or at least most days, once or twice, over a week or 2 or 3, we often do find that the body will settle a bit and can support other things that we might be doing in the physical therapy plan. So don't write this one off. It can be really powerful to do mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or even just on your lunch break. And then again, maybe towards the later afternoon or evening. If you have something particularly later in the day that often is painful, for some people this is cooking dinner or kind of winding up chores at the end of the day, doing this for 5 minutes before and then 5 minutes after that activity can make that maybe a little bit more tolerable. So give it a shot, see if you can fit it in throughout your day, and let me know how